Hey guys, welcome to this week's vlog. And this week we are talking all about joyful hearts and how to have a joyful heart and maybe why our hearts aren't so joyful sometimes. And yeah, that's it, joyful hearts. So this week's meditation was a joyful heart meditation. And this is one that I picked because this world, it has enough hate in it. This world has enough negativity. It seems like everywhere I look, every time I look at the news or hear people talking or whatever it is, it's always just so sad and negative and hateful and ugh. I don't know about you, but it weighs my heart down. And just being human and just being alive and just having enough human and life stuff, that's already enough to weigh my heart down, right? If you're a human, I know that you know what I'm talking about. Life itself sometimes can bring pain, and it can bring things that just weigh your heart down. And now it's like there's this little extra layer, and it seems like everywhere I look, everyone just hates everyone else, and they're just so unkind and sad and fearful and hurtful, I feel. But that's why something like this, like a joyful heart meditation, or this idea of how to create a joyful heart, is so important to me, and something that I really wanted to share with you guys, because with all of this going on, it is so important to be able to keep a joyful heart. And how can you do it? How can you keep that heart joyful and not get pulled into the depths of all this negativity and hate and just life, right? How can you not let life wear you down? How can you change the perspective? How can you change what you see? And what can you do to kind of remedy that? Someone just banged on the door. It was either my dog or my husband. I don't know. What you gonna do? All right, so joyful heart. I really believe that our hearts in their pure sense are filled with love and joy and positivity. And as we move through life, we can have these things that kind of just weigh down our heart and just drag us down. And it's almost like our hearts are being covered in like this like tar, sort of like just ugh. It's like our hearts can turn to concrete instead of being this light, buoyant, joyful, radiant thing that it's meant to be. So I try to remind myself, and especially lately, I very recently kind of went through just a short period in life, a few days, where I just felt so down and sad and just bummed, and I just felt so heavy and ugh, I just felt so sad. And it's those times where I have to really remind myself that we need to really have a joyful heart, and we need to have a practice for a joyful heart. And so what I did was I wrote down a little list. That's what's on my Post-it. I wrote down a little list of some of my favorite ways to help create and keep a joyful heart, because I really do think that this is something that is crucial to just happiness in life, is keeping that heart light and joyful. And so I wrote down some of my favorite ways to do that. So the first thing that I like to do, I'm totally mixing it up today. Oh well, change is good, right? Change is good. We did renewal last week, and now I'm doing something totally new, right? I renewed and changed. But doing a little list, my kombucha. I have like a real shirt on instead of like a sweatshirt. I don't even recognize this person. All right, so the list, ways I keep a joyful heart. The first one really is doing a joyful heart meditation. So just like the one that I shared with you, in my own meditation practice, I like to kind of imagine my heart just like breaking off all of that gunk and all of the weight and the negativity, and I meditate on having this light, vibrant, joyful heart, and it really does help. That, or if I'm doing like my home yoga practice, I might do like some extra heart openers and just see my heart being joyful and light and vibrant. That's something that I love to do. It really helps me. The next thing is I like to think of something that always makes me laugh. So I'm not usually the kind of person that, you know, like has like online videos, like YouTube videos that they always think are funny. But there are a couple. There's a handful of them that like if I watch, I will laugh. So either thinking of that or watching that, or thinking of like a moment or a story that always makes me laugh. And there's a few that I can just think of right away. One of them that I always think of, and often these things that always make me laugh are things that maybe weren't funny in the moment, but now in hindsight, I think they're kind of hysterical. Like this one time when I got Mila, who you always see when she was a puppy, it was the 4th of July, and so she heard fireworks for the first time, and she got scared, and then she got so scared that she started to go poop, and then she was then scared from both the sounds and the poop, that then she tried to run away, and so then she just started sprinting through the house while being scared and pooping everywhere. And in the moment, not funny. I did not find any of that to be funny as I was like alone and cleaning up my dog's poo. But hindsight, it was really funny. It was really, like, the whole moment, I'm sure it was just like hysterical as I'm chasing her, and then she's afraid of me and the fireworks, and there's just stuff coming out the back. So that kind of thing helps keep my heart joyful, you know, dog poop and stuff. Text a friend just because, and just let them know that I love them and I miss them. Also random acts of kindness. So I like to just maybe write someone like a little love note, even if it's just on like a post-it, and leave it for them, or just tell someone that I appreciate them, and that I think they're really great. That always doing that helps to keep my heart light and joyful. The fourth thing, I like to turn everything off and then just do something that I love. So it could be listening to music, it could be reading a book. I like to do a lot of kind of those more like quiet introverting things. I really like to puzzle. So maybe it's turning everything off and just having a glass of wine and doing a puzzle. I know that's like maybe what like 90-year-old ladies like to do, but I really like it too, so no shade, it's great. So I just like to turn everything off and then do something that I love. Let's see, the fifth one, why I have my kombucha. I like to indulge in something yummy or make something special. So I don't know what it is, but it really does help my heart to stay light and joyful if, like, for some reason, instead of having some kombucha and just a regular old glass, I'm gonna have it in a champagne flute, because then it's just special and it's fancy and it's indulgent, and I don't know. I have a whole set of champagne flutes. I got them for my wedding, and like, have I ever used them? No. It's not like I've ever had anyone over. I'm not like, let's have a party and I have 12 champagne flutes and let's all get them out and have champagne. I'm not a good entertainer like that, but I do every once in a while like to get one and like have my kombucha out of it, or like some sparkling water or something. And even if I'm just working on work for some reason, doing that but making it special just makes my heart a little bit lighter. Or maybe I'll indulge and I'll have something that I love. There's this bakery and coffee shop that I love, and they make these scones that I'm just obsessed with, and I never really ate. I mean, I would have scones, but I was kind of just like, they seem kind of like a dry muffin, like a dry compact muffin. No, but once I tried these, like, I am obsessed and I love them and all the flavors. So every once in a while, I will go there and maybe I'll work at that coffee shop and I'll have one of those scones. Like, it's not anything that crazy or that wild, but it's just like making something special out of something that's very ordinary, right? I work every day, but it's not every day I go to this coffee shop and have a fancy coffee and a scone. And that's the kind of thing that just kind of like that tiny little indulgence that helps keep my heart light. I like to take myself out on a date. So this is something that I used to do a lot, and then I kind of took a break from it, and recently I've been rediscovering it and I really like it. I've been taking myself to a lot of movies lately, so it's just something that I really enjoy, and I think that it's just really fun to take myself out on a date and go see whatever movie I want, or, you know, go on a breakfast date or a dinner date, or just taking myself to the mall or whatever it is. It's like doing something, it's carving out time just for me, and then going and doing something that I enjoy. I call it taking myself out on a date. So that's something that if you haven't done that in a while, or you haven't done it, I would really recommend it. And there's a lot of people that are like, I would never go to a movie alone. I would never go anywhere and eat alone. I think it's kind of nice. Take yourself out on a date. You're treating yourself. And then the last thing that I like to do, it's really two things to keep my heart light and joyful, is play with Mila, play with my puppy, or just kind of loving on her a little bit, giving her hugs and kisses and like playing with her and one of her toys, and not like being distracted while I'm doing it, just like enjoying that. And then just giving my husband a big hug. Or really anyone that I love, giving them a big hug. So those are my ideas. That's what I personally do to try to keep a joyful heart. And it's something that I really do have to practice, because there is unfortunately a lot of negativity in the world, and just a lot of negativity that surround us. And so if I don't actively work on kind of combating that and keeping my heart light and joyful and loving and kind, it'll start to get heavy and sad, and I don't want that in my life. So I have to really work on that. So I would encourage you to, feel free to use any of these ideas, but maybe make your own list. Maybe write down like 2 or 3 things that helps make your heart light and joyful. And then when you find it getting kind of heavy, you can go to your list and you can try some of these. So I hope that was helpful. If you drink kombucha and you have a champagne flute, I'd highly recommend that you try that. But yeah, otherwise I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening. Bye guys.